Hi, it's Stacy with So Steady, and we have got the amazing SARIDITTY here today, and we have some amazing, gorgeous, beautiful quilts that she is going to be sharing with you today, and so much more. So SARIDITTY released, and you guys joined us for the release of her Rainbow Quilt Color Method book. This was like a month or more ago that we released that gorgeous book. And we promised you that there was going to be more to come with this. And believe me, if you got our email, if you saw what we are presenting as more, you are going to be in love with all of the gorgeousness and opportunity that you are going to be able to use and play with this book. So, Sarah, I'm going to let you take it
Okay,
away, and then I'm going to dive in, and we're going to, just make sure we cover everything.
got it.
But let's start with maybe telling them a little bit about you,
Okay.
because we might have some new viewers on here
Sure.
that don't know all about Sarah, and kind of where you come from, and that you're a mountain mama and
Oh,
all of
well.
that good stuff.
So first and foremost, we're going to start with jaw replacement surgery 2 months ago. So I'm not angry and making horrible faces. I'm literally numb. I'm still super self-conscious about it. Part two is I have three big dogs that bark at everything. So if they get too annoying, Stacy, let me know and I'll get doors shut and I'll try to do.
Okay. Okay. Well,
Okay, yeah. So, like Stacy said, I am currently a mountain mama, which makes me a resident of West Virginia. Born and raised in Indiana, spent some time in Puerto Rico as a kid, but Indiana's home. So I always say I'm a Hoosier by birth, a boiler by choice because I chose Purdue. My degree is in aviation. So I was a commercial pilot for a few years. My husband is in the Air Force. So when we got married, I couldn't really ask my engineering firm. So I flew corporate. I could not really ask them to like pick up and move from Indiana down to South Carolina. So spent 2 years with him there, 2 years in Oklahoma. And now I think I'm going to probably bury myself out here. But it's
well,
fun.
it's a gorgeous place,
It's
right?
beautiful. We're out in the middle of
Mm.
nowhere. And when I say nowhere, I'm saying my post office doesn't have typical boxes that you can ship things in type nowhere. But yeah, it's nice. We're close enough to Washington, D.C. that if we wanted to get there and spend some time in a city, we could. But we're out here on top of a hill with nothing around but cornfield behind us. So
Beautiful rolling green hills, guys. And you're going to see it in all of her gorgeous pictures. So just know that you're just in awe and inspired by the beauty of not just the quilts, of course, but also the nature around them.
well, and it's kind of crazy because this whole quilting thing evolved. I didn't plan on quilting. I didn't plan on any of this. But when you're a military wife and you're always up and moving, it's kind of hard to keep a steady job, especially for someone who has a very focused degree.
Hmm.
And flight instruction was not for me. I'm way too control freakish to let anyone else in control of an airplane. But
You mean you care about your life? No.
a little bit. So when we were living in Oklahoma, my mom and dad lived in the East Mountains of New York. What? Let's go with Albuquerque. I don't know where New York came from. But they were in the East Mountains, so in between Santa Fe and Albuquerque. And life where we were in Oklahoma, which a lot of people say, like, oh, I know Oklahoma. You've never been to Fort Sill. That's in Lawton, Oklahoma. And let me tell you, Army people, that's where we went for fun.
Oh.
We were in Alta. So we were an hour west of Lawton, aka
Oh,
Fort
wow.
Sill. It was bleak. But I'd pick up my dogs and we'd drive over to my parents' house in New Mexico for 2, 3 weeks at a time because my husband's job was just so 8 to 5 at that point, and we were both just sad and depressed living there. It was awful. That's not to say Oklahoma's a bad state. It's not. There are certain parts of it that are beautiful and wonderful, but this particular area, especially for a gal who cannot have children and is not a teacher or a nurse, what was I supposed to do? So I was over in New Mexico, and that's why I said New York, because it's New Mexico.
New Mexico, New York, New Mexico. Yep.
Same thing. They're close in the list. Um, and my mom one day, she was like, hey, over at the fairgrounds, they're having a quilt show. And I said, what's a quilt show? Who goes to that? I'm like, a bunch of old ladies, right? No, I had no idea. So we went, and this was right when the Bernina long arm had come out. And so I just see this big, massive machine on steroids. I'm like, ooh, what's that? Because, I knew singers and brothers, and I knew all the cute little guys that I had seen my mom make clothes on my whole life. And so, between buying yarn, because I like to crochet, and then playing on some of these long arms, as they're called, I kid you not, and no one's going to believe me, but I kid you not, when you are holding the yoke of an airplane, it is really no different for me than holding the handles of a long arm. And it just came to me naturally. That, and I've always doodled on paper and everything. So kind of making shapes and having fluid movement was easy for me. That does not mean I came out making beautiful feathers day one, because I did not. But, getting the idea of doing the loop-de-loop meandering, that's when it all just kind of, light bulb went off of, all right, there's all these moms on base with their babies' clothes that they want keepsake quilts. I'm going to get myself a long arm, and I'm going to charge $200-300 to put together these keepsake quilts and, quilt them up for them real fast. And within about a year and a half, I had my long arm paid off.
What? Good
So
for
that's
you.
literally how I got into quilting. And then from there, it just was like, okay, I like quilting, but I really love math. I'm the girl that used to do calculus for fun, like the whole one-page derivative equations. I loved them. So I started doing more design work with pattern design, and then ruler design, which I got to bust out the trigonometric calculus to figure out the waves that I wanted to use and the wave collection of rulers. And
Which
then,
we rolled out your collection of rulers,
yes,
gosh, I'm going to say like 5 or 6 years ago.
probably like 18 or 19, I think.
Yeah. I think
But
what your first rulers with So
yeah,
Steady, we rolled out in like 2018.
and I
Yeah.
still use them almost on every quilt because they are just
Yeah.
so good and so perfect
Mhm.
how they fit and how they work, and the size of them, whether you're on a domestic machine or a long arm. And since they're available in all three thicknesses, it really doesn't matter what machine you're on. But yeah, so then from there, it kind of went into the whole fabric design thing, because I'm never satisfied with what I do, I guess. So yeah, now I'm, pattern writer, ruler maker, book writer, and I design for Moda now.
So
It's fun.
basically, Sarah does it all, guys, and we get to share her with all of you. We are so excited about some of the amazing packages. We have some limited time special packages that we're going to be presenting today. Along with that, we have just amazing new cutting tools and embroidery collections. Guys, she now has embroidery. This is brand new.
Yeah.
She went through every single design that's on her embroidery collection, and she fine-tuned it to work amazing for both domestic and for digitized long arm design.
Yep.
So you will know that you're going to have an awesome collection with both of
Yeah.
those. And they're all inspired by her rulers, because what is embroidery? It's where ruler work meets embroidery. So we are just so excited about this launch and being able to share Sarah with all of you. And we are doing what we're calling Wednesday Wonders, are our educator interviews for this summer. So you just completed your educator interview, basically. Your designer, educator extraordinaire interview is complete. If anyone has any questions to get to know Sarah even more, you're more than welcome to, because we have so much more to share with you today
Yeah.
about these amazing new products. So why don't you go ahead? Do you want to start by maybe showing us I guess probably your roulette quilt would be
Okay.
amazing, or
Let
you choose.
me. Well, yeah, because it's kind of the showstopper, right?
It's kind of like the
So
piece.
the pièce de résistance.
Thank you. That's
Yeah,
what I
I
was
don't
looking
speak
for.
French either. So it's kind of crazy, because in the book there's 15 patterns, and for anyone who does not know about the book yet, um, it ranges from super super simple half square triangle and jelly roll strip piecing quilts, which I'll show you some of those. I have them made to show you. But it kind of travels. There's 15 patterns, and it travels through difficulty and construction methods. So it's kind of a like build your own adventure, or get better as you go or hone in certain skills if you're not confident on one thing over the other. And the really, really cool quilt at the end, which I have to show this one, it combines 6 of the patterns in the book into one quilt with a whole bunch of different techniques. So that's the final quilt, which is a medallion. And so some of these pieces and cutting templates and quiltable embroidery collections that we're going to show you can work on this as well as all the other patterns in here. But that said, Roulette is special. She's a special quilt in that she ended up turning into, well, apparently she's a she, because I always call her her. Roulette turned into a color wheel. And this whole quilt, being the rainbow quilt color method, having a color wheel was kind of cool. And I decided I wanted to do something in some really bright, saturated colors for this next version. And that's what, ooh, where did it go? It's here somewhere. It's on the bottom of the stack. So we're getting it. They're down here. All right, here we go. So we used, it's a blender. It's from Benartex. It's called Shadow Blush. We use 16 colors. Ugh.
Oh, you got to go high. There you go. Isn't that so? Just if you remember, we did a live about a month and a half ago when we released the book. This is the quilt that everybody voted for that they wanted to do first.
Yay,
so
I'm excited.
This is the quilt that everyone wants you to do a quilt along with, Sarah.
Oh my gosh, I was so hoping it would be because I love this quilt.
So we're going to have announcement on dates for quilt along in September-ish is the goal. Yep. We're going to have some dates announced for the quilt along in September, which totally aligns with everything else we're releasing today.
Perfect. We're going to have so much fun. And here's something too, like for anyone who sees the big circle or the geese and they're scared, this quilt is seriously probably the best intro to curves anyone could do because, all right, I'm going to try and see if we can do this. All right, you can see how, and I have to look in the camera. Ooh, right, this hand. Here, see how this is my straight up and down line right there? And then I have my other side line over here. Anyways, a circle, y'all. Here's the math part, and I did all the hard work for you. A circle divided into quarters is 90 degrees of an arc, or a 90-degree angle at the intersection. There's 4 sections within those, so you're only dealing with 45 degrees, 22.5 degrees across each curve. So this is probably the simplest curve piecing that you could do to get comfortable with curve piecing. And none of them are like difficult. I promise you, if I can do it, and I'm like a give me straight lines, foundation paper piecing any day. I don't want to do things that are freeform. This is so easy, and that's why I did it the way I did it. And let me show you why, because I'm going to show you the template set that we decided to make to go with it.
Okay, so that's the quilt. And so our limited time special, we have a Roulette quilt package special, guys. So the cutting template set is the first piece, right, that you're going to show?
Yep, I'm going to show you this cutting template set. And so let me show you on the quilt. I'm going to point to some of these areas to show you where those pieces coordinate. And that way you can understand how that's going to help and work for you. So the pattern specifically says you can make this with 16 fat quarters and your background fabric in some yardage amount. That said, you have to follow the pattern exactly the way I say to cut out these pieces. Otherwise, you're going to wish you bought a half-yard bundle, which you still can do that because I did, and now I have a little extra fabric to play with for another project. But it's also handy if you think you might make a goof or an error and you want to have some wiggle room. I would say get a half-yard or 2, fat fabric bundles of fat quarters. But let me show you. So here's this big piece right here that I really wanted a template for that. And you're going to see how big it is. Do you see my face? Like, It's a big piece. So again, this curve is not scary. It's just big. And sorry for the light reflecting. But when you cut this piece out, it is so handy to have this template to lay down on the fabric to be able, there we go, backwards, right? There we go. So it's so handy to have this template piece to set down on your fat quarter and cut out that wedge.
Oh, that is so handy. Yeah.
And you see how it has holes in it, right? This isn't for some magic trick. It's because I'm helping you save cost by using the acrylic for more pieces. Here's this guy that pops out. This is our B section, okay? So that little guy is used.
And just you're muscling this thing.
I know, it's a big quilt, but
yeah, it is.
So, there we go. So this is that piece to help you cut out your inner ring pictures. Okay.
Oh yeah, because you've got a skinnies. Yep, all of those are different colors, guys. Those are the 16 colors in the inner ring.
So it's handy in that, you do want to have, as close to perfect curved outline edges for piecing. So this really helps get that perfect outline, and it shows you your seam allowances as well. If you're happening to use fabric that needs fussy cutting, then you can see, where your clearances are on that. And then that other piece that cut out of the big wedge is the little quarter circle. Not necessarily mandatory, but it is super duper helpful right there in the center. So my little white disc in the middle. So it's handy for cutting out those 4 pieces right there. And you can use it as a paperweight when you're not using it to cut out. Okay, the triangle, the 2 other triangle pieces. There are 2 triangle pieces. Again, they fit inside of each other to help save space. But we've got these big triangles that spin around the circle. So you can use those to cut out your big triangles, especially if you're fussy cutting. But then you can also use them for your border big triangles if you're fussy cutting or you just want to be really, really precise with how you're cutting things. Now, that's not to say you have to have the acrylics, because the book does have, the paper copies that you can get printed out onto paper and use. But I did that on the first one, and that's when I called Stacy and I said, we need to make cutting templates because I keep cutting into these and it's not fun. So, I mean, definitely try it without if you really think you want to, but you'll thank me if you have these, I promise.
It'll make your life easier.
It does. Okay, and then here's your little baby triangle to cut these little guys out. The cool thing too is this baby triangle, since you already have the book to make roulette and you've gotten these templates, you can use this baby triangle on the pattern called trickle.
Ooh, we had a good question come in.
Yeah.
Okay. Their question is, the cutting templates include the 1/4 inch seam allowance?
Yes, they do.
There it is. Perfect. It's
They
filled
sure
in.
do. Yep, they all do. So then if you want to make this trickle pattern.
Oh, look at that, you guys.
If you want to make that pattern, especially if you want to fussy cut any of those triangles, and it's foundation paper piecing, but I still use templates when I do anything like that because I like to save fabric and not waste a whole bunch. So you can use this template to cut out the geese for this quilt pattern as well.
And there's a lot of them.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 7, 8 times
so
3.
here's
there's like 96 of them.
Okay. Well, I love it. There's so many gorgeous, gorgeous quilts in that book. And I love that you can use that roulette set to work with the other pattern as well.
Yeah,
that's perfect.
Definitely. And I need to test this, but well, here, I'll show you this. Okay, there's a quilt pattern called Fan Dancer, and I have one down here I can actually use to show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so here's Fan Dancer. Okay.
Okay.
I am thinking that we could use this B template. It's going to be a little bit wider than the wedges, but I'm thinking you could use it to at least get a good gauge. It's not exact, but someone who's resourceful would be able to use this bee wedge to then cut out their wedges for fan dancer.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
You absolutely
Maybe
could.
like a half a wedge. A half a wedge.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I see it.
So I'm going to look into that. And so when we do the quilt along, I'll make sure I have the info for that on how to use that best, because yeah, you could absolutely, I'm holding it right here. You
Guess
could
what? Someone just
absolutely,
asked a question that is really important. They said, "Will you have a fabric bundle as well?"
well,
We sure do, guys. Actually, I just posted a link, but I'm going to post it again.
you mean this
Here's the
fabric bundle to do
fabric
this?
bundle. So the one thing that we're going to try to get this sped up, but right now, this fabric bundle, if you purchase it today and you know you want to be part of the quilt along, or you just want to do this quilt, you know, you want to do it with fabric bundle, then you can purchase it now. It's a pre-order, and we're told that they're going to start shipping those in September.
I
So
think it's best to say too that this was something special that we were extended the offer at Bernina University
that's
from
true.
the Tex folks, because um, while I'm a moda designer, I do not, I love all fabric. If it's pretty and
Yes.
I love all fabric, but this is strictly because at Bernina University, which for anyone who doesn't know, Bernina, Ben Artex Fabric, Brewer, who's a distributor for shops and vendors, they're all sort of tied together. And so since So Steady is associated with Brewer, then
Mhm.
this is why we were able to do this special bundle.
So Benartex made a special bundle for us so we could make it happen for Bernina University, and now they're allowing us to extend it to everyone. So we've got a link. If you any, and then just remember, no matter what, if you purchase from us and you're in the continental U.S., you can actually choose to pick up in any of our retail stores that participate in our Web Direct program for free. So as you're making your purchases, definitely consider that option because free shipping is free shipping. We love it, right? Um, and so that's, you know, something else that you can consider. But this bundle is limited time. We're taking orders
Right.
through July on this. So, and then it goes back to that special package deal. So the package now, if you purchase the Roulette cutting template set, you purchase the fabric bundle, then there's only one other thing they need to purchase to get the free Roulette embroidery collection. So the only other thing they need to purchase to get the free Roulette embroidery collection is a Lotus and Pebble quilting template.
Which I have part of it here. I don't know where the inside is, but here's the
Oh,
Lotus.
that's okay.
I know. Here's the Lotus and Pebbles ruler. This was, and I'll have to show you the quilt that goes with this. This ruler is what started everything with SARIDITTY and So Steady, because 6 years ago, I had this quilt pattern in my head. I'm like, I need this to work. I need this to work. And I wanted like this fun onion shape, lotus shape, Taj Mahal shape type piece. And there is also a piece that goes inside of it that you can use for the bottom round part or do the whole thing. But then you would have, anyways, but there's another piece. It's in my basement somewhere because that's where I quilt. But this is so fun, and I can't wait to show you the quilt that it truly was designed to go with. But as it turns out, it's kind of perfect with this pattern as well, because did you notice the quilting in here?
There it is.
You see? And so that, oh, where is it? There I am right here, rotated. So this piece here is what I used to form that whole quilty design. And so these files that we're going to show you, they're all digital. So whether you're on your long arm or you're on your embroidery machine, you're doing it in the hoop, the files can all be read by any machine. They come in all file formats. So it's not just a specific machine. And and they're sizable. So I'm going to give you the directions of how to use it specifically to this quilt to fit inside this 22.5-degree arced wedge. But you can size it however you want. You can use it on other quilts as well, or other pieces. I am literally, I keep saying I'm going to do this like today, but I've been busy. I have a denim jacket. I want to stitch it on the back of a
Oh
denim.
my goodness. Absolutely gorgeous. I love it. Okay, so I have a question that came in. Someone wants me to explain the bundle. So I'm just going to show it on the screen really quick so everybody
Okay.
understands the super deal. So the Roulette Quilt Package Special, buy the 5-piece cutting template set, and that's a $48 value. Buy the Roulette Fabric Bundle, that's 16 fat quarters and 1.5 yards of the new hue metallic cream gold background fabric. The total value of that is $85. Now that is on sale for $71 right now. So take advantage of that while we have the sale price going. And then the final item to the bundle is the Lotus and Pebble quilting template. And that's what she just showed on the screen. So if you buy all 3 of those, you're going to get the Roulette embroidery collection free. And we haven't even showed you what that is, but it's a $50 value.
Oh,
So
I know.
it's a
So
huge value.
let me show you these in person then, going down that list so that way
Okay.
everyone's aware. So the 5-piece templates are, oh dear, where'd my big wedge go? I need to put glitter grippers on these so I can find them. Okay, so the 5-piece cutting set are these cutting templates that you can use for all the pieces that are kind of weird and wonky in the Roulette quilt. Plus, remember, you can use them in some other patterns as well, which I always try to do that. I try to make things be used more than once. All right, the specific fabric bundle is the one that the folks at Benartex let us offer as a retail option. They're typically only allowed to go to to wholesalers. So we get to sidestep a little bit here and offer you. So it's these 16 fat quarters, and then that's the new hue metallic. It's sort of a milky white. It's not white white. It's a milky white with like a really pretty gold shimmery fleck. So it's a neutral without being a neutral, but it is exactly what I used here. So those are those. And then the Lotus and Pebbles template is this 2-piece template. There's a piece here that's in my basement. So you get the 2 little oniony lotus shapes and then 3 pebbles. So a 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, and 1 inch pebble.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so a good question came in. Do the instructions come with the bundle and
Which
the book?
instructions?
So I think what she's asking, oh, we've got fireworks going on again. This is so exciting. I don't know how that happens. Um, the bundle does not come with the quilt pattern. You have to buy the book. So the book
Yeah.
is kind of the staple, and that's why we started with the book today, because the book is the staple behind all of these tools. But we announced this book a month and a half ago. So we're assuming that there's a lot of you that have already bought the book. And we
I
just
know for
didn't,
a fact there's like a good 500 people out there who
yeah.
have the book.
So we didn't want to include the book in the bundle because then you'd have to buy another book. And that wouldn't be fair.
But
So, well,
it's affordable. And let me put it this way too, again, for people who don't know. The price of the book literally is about the price of what I would have charged for Roulette as a standalone pattern because of how much went into that writing and the templates that I had to make for it. So you get 15 patterns for essentially the price of one pattern. Is how it works out. And they can grab the book too from the So Steady website. It's available there. I have it in my shop. Your local quilt shop may have it. I'm not sure what quilt shops are carrying it because I don't get that information, but So Steady has it. I have it. You may already have it, but all of your patterns are right here. In fact, I just saw the one page to show you. So this has a picture of all the 15 patterns.
there they are. They're absolutely stunning.
That way it sort of helps give you an idea of what all is in there. Because there's a lot. There's a lot. Does that answer that
So I
question?
think that that answers it. Can those
Okay.
of us that have already have the Lotus and Pebble template, can we still get the roulette freebie? Ooh, yeah, because there's a lot of people that already have that template
That
too.
is true. It's a very popular template. I always
Yeah.
it.
So yeah, I think if maybe they just send the proof of purchase, send like a
Yeah.
picture, yeah,
Send a
or send,
purchase or send a picture of you holding the Lotus and
yeah,
Pebbles.
perfect. That would work out great
Yeah,
because
I
we
mean,
want to honor that.
right. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it is a good seller. Like
So you
that.
buy the bundle, you buy the cutting template set, and then we'll honor the
Yeah,
embroidery collection.
for sure.
Okay.
With embroidery
Which
collection.
we have to show the embroidery collection. Oh my goodness.
Okay, so I showed you part of it. Let me grab. There's too many things in here, Stacy. Okay, so the embroidery collection comes with a whole bunch of designs on a thumb drive, and they are in, like I said, every file format necessary for any of the embroidery machines or long arms out there. So I get it. Like some reads PES, BQM, HQF, QLI. I don't know how many else there are because I don't speak that language. I know BQM and that's about it. But, oh, here, look, it even says there. Where's the camera? There. It even says what file formats they're all in there. Okay. So the cool thing is again, I'm giving you both shapes that you can make with the rulers, because the whole Westerly to embroidery idea is to be able to take your rulers to quiltable, stitchable, embroiderable. That's a really hard word to say. Designs. Um, so while, and I'll show you on the quilt, while this design right here, where my finger is totally attainable with the ruler specifically. I'm lazy and I didn't want to have to use the ruler 16 times, so we turned it into a digital file. I also wanted to do one, if you look at the photo here, the other version of the quilt I did, which it's down here on the floor, I can pull it out. I love feathers. If you know me at all from a quilter, or if you've ever taken one of my classes, I love quilting feathers. And so I wanted to make sure I had some feathery options as well, just because they're fun. So there are both of the wreaths are available. So there's that big circular one with the lotus and pebble. And then there's
Hmm.
also the one here that's
Oh,
the
with the
floral.
feathers.
Mm-hmm. And
And
so
her
that way,
feathers are absolutely gorgeous, as you guys can tell in her
I love
stitching.
them.
And
I love them.
yes.
So I wanted it to have the option, like someone may not want to have a feathery wreath around that center color wheel. And this way too, with all the options that I've given in here, not every single quilt is ever going to be exactly the same as your neighbors, because it's kind of like, the pick your own adventure reading series that we had when we were kids. So you can kind
Hmm.
of choose your own adventure with how you want to quilt your actual finished quilt. Because there's also a bunch of different, oh, horrible light glare. Sorry. So there's a
Well,
bunch of different triangle shapes, and things
and
that
I
you can.
will show them on the screen
There
here
you
because we
go.
can actually show it
Okay,
here really well.
that's so much.
But you can see the triangle with the pebbles here,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have the triangle with the feathers here,
Mm-hmm.
and triangle with feathers again, more triangle feathers. So there's a lot of feathers. And so, we do say it's where ruler work meets embroidery, but this one is going to be where free motion meets embroidery. Because we do have a lot of exciting, amazing SARIDITTY feather free motion stuff going on here. So these are the designs. Sarah has stepped away for just a second. I think she had a little phone issue. So I'm going to keep going and while she comes back in for a sec. But these are the designs that are included in the Roulette embroidery collection. And I know she just told you, but again, this has 15 different block designs in it, and they're available in all formats, including the long arm digital formats. And then they're available in the appropriate sizes to fit in the quilt blocks. Is that right, Sarah?
I
All
just
of the
came back
designs?
in.
Oh,
Sorry, I
all
got
of these
kicked out.
designs and the sizes that they're available in are available in the appropriate size to fit in that block for this quilt.
Yes. Yes. And I will make sure that we have a printout page very soon, that it will kind of give everyone just the rough dimensions as well, if they want to size up or size down anything and kind of how to place it the best
Mhm.
way that I have found. Because this will now be, um, I'm getting ready to do the fourth quilting on one of these. So I've been taking notes every time to make sure that y'all have the best absolute information available for when you go to quilt yours.
I love it. Okay, great. So
Yeah.
this is the thing you would get for free if you decide that you're going to take advantage of that limited time special bundle offer. And again, that limited time special bundle offer is the Roulette quilt package special. And so you have to buy the book separate. So because we are assuming that you already bought the book, or you're going to want that book for all the other patterns too. So you have to buy the book separate. But then if you already have the book, then you would get the Roulette 5-piece cutting set, the Roulette fabric bundle, and then if you already have the Lotus and Pebbles, then you would just show evidence of that. And then we would give you for free the Roulette Embroidery collection. So,
That's like that's really good.
so when
Thanks.
you're checking out, make a note of that because it won't automatically pop in as a free gift if you don't order the Lotus and Pebbles. So you'll just need to make a note that you already have it, and then we'll go ahead and make a note in your order and make it happen for you. So,
That's so awesome that
um,
you're doing that. I love you guys.
yeah, well, we want to honor everyone that has loved your tools here and now, and not everything is brand new. Obviously, a lot of this is inspired by the Lotus and
No.
Pebbles,
Yeah.
and so it's important to kind of be able to
Yeah.
incorporate that as well.
Well, and
So
while
we,
we're talking about the Lotus and Pebbles, should I go ahead and show the Star Blossom quilt that it sort of was made to go with?
oh, I would say so for sure, and then we can also talk about
Ooh.
the amazing new panel. So I'll let
I
you.
know.
Because that's like, I mean, there's so much more, guys.
I know.
There's
It's
so
like,
much more.
but wait, there's more. So this quilt. Oh, I love this quilt.
Okay, there was a quick question that I need to answer because we have
Okay.
two people asking it.
Yeah.
You do not, if you are going to take advantage of the super special where you get the free roulette embroidery collection,
Mm-hmm.
you do not need to add it to cart because it'll automatically add to cart at checkout if you order those other items. If you're saying I already have the Lotus and Pebble set, then you just need to make a note of that, and then we will add it for you after, so you're not paying for things that you do not have to pay for. We don't want you to have to pay for it in advance and refund you. We just want you to get it for free. But if you're like, you know what, I'm not quite sure I'm ready to do the big roulette quilts, but I love the roulette embroidery collection, and we'll show you more of why you might want to get that here in a moment,
Yeah.
then that's where you'll go ahead and potentially just get the embroidery collection and you would add that to cart
Yeah.
separate. Okay,
Yeah.
that's enough on me explaining. You go ahead.
Okay. So this is the Star Blossom quilt that I'm just going to hold up this part because I can show you a quick picture in the book. It's a really heavy quilt. I was dumb and I used batting that I knew it would just always show poofiness and beauty, but it's really freaking heavy. So there we go. That's Star Blossom right there. Okay. So I'm holding up what you can see up here in the corner. And this pattern, okay, bear with me, take a deep breath. Promise me you're not going to pass out. It's English paper piecing, but I got bored with it all being English paper piecing. So once you get your blossom together, it's just appliqued to the background, which is kind of lovely. Now, that said, I said don't pass out because I said the EPP word or the applique word. The pattern is also written so anybody who doesn't have the patience, I mean, I get it. I don't have the patience for this. I don't want to do 20 of these or 20, however many there are. Not every time. So there are instructions to how you can use the templates and just do raw edge and use like a fusible. And that way it's a quick and easy, just cut it out, slap it on, do raw edge applique, satin stitch, zigzag, blanket stitch, hand stitching if you actually want to do the whole turning under of it. So there are so many ways you can actually put this quilt together that aren't the dreaded EPP word. But I'm going to go ahead and say on that note too, I really fell in love with EPP during the process of this book. There are 2 patterns that have EPP, and I can't wait to show you the other one that I've been working on slowly. It's been a really fun sort of zone out on the sofa for an hour in the evenings project for me. But that said, this is why I'm going back to this. This pattern I wrote because I knew that shape, do you see that lotusy shape right there, done 8 times in the petals? I knew that lotus ruler would look so cool on a flower. And there's my 1-inch pebble in the middle. And then the leaves, all these little leaf clusters that are in here, I actually used, well, even for the edges of the blossoms, I used my arc rulers, one of my arc rulers, to kind of go right along the edges of each of these blossoms. Same thing along the edges of the leaves. And then I pulled out one of my wave rulers to kind of do the center. Let's see here. I'm all backwards trying to show you all this. So doing a center in the flowers or the leaves, you can use the wave ruler. But now I think we kind of show the fun extra little bit that goes with this, right? Stacy?
Yes, please. No.
Okay, right? So, but wait, okay. I wanted to come up with a quick and easy little project for somebody who might want to do the Star Blossom quilt but isn't totally sure yet. So we came up with this really fun project. It's called the Quilt Keeper. It's a kit that comes with these 2 little baby SARIDITTY rulers. So you get a baby 60-degree triangle. This is based off of my Paradigm 60-degree triangle set, which I've got a couple of them back here I can show you. And then on this little guy, we've got part of an arc wave up here and part of a little rolling where we did trigonometric calculus to find our frequency of our wave. So we've got a little bit of a wave, a little bit of an arc, and a small 60-degree angle. And if you still don't know if you want to do all of the paper piecing, we have these panels. Ta-da!
Oh my gosh, I love this panel.
I love me so much. So this way you can actually play with, and you can get more than one. You can get a handful probably, because So Steady has them. So when you're quilting and you just want to practice with your rulers, or when we get into some of the embroidery, you can practice with your rulers on these guys too. So there's the Lotus and Pebbles. We made the little baby arc to work along the arc of the outside of the flowers, and then along the edge of the leaf clusters. The little wavelength you can use. And if you're not sure what to do, oh, I don't know, I included pictures for you to show you how to use them. So that comes with the panel. And again, I kind of don't want things to just be one little thing, so I decided to take it one step further. And we've got a pattern then that's going to go with this, so that once you have your quilted panel, so there's my quilted panel.
Oh my goodness,
I
yes.
cut off the geese, which that's that trickle pattern. Remember me telling you about that earlier? So this is sized down considerably from the actual pattern itself. But those are the little trickle blades. And then they go on this side. So this fun little, like, it's just going to be an add-on pattern that you get with the Quilt Keeper kit. So that way you can quilt however you want, whether you're using rulers, the Embroidery collection, your own free motion, anything you want. You're going to be able to take that panel and turn it into a vinyl pocket on one side and an elastic mesh pocket on the other side. with a little handle.
Perfect.
It's zipper free because I know some people are not fans of zippers or afraid of them. You shouldn't be. But this way it's just a fun little 2-pocket quilt keeper kit. So you can
So
keep.
that's coming soon. The pattern is not quite available yet, but that is coming very soon for all of you. And if you just have to do something with that panel before the pattern's available for that quilt keeper kit, you can obviously make that into a stunning bag, or you can, make it into a pillow or even a mini quilt like you suggested. Look at
Absolutely.
that.
And honestly, let me show you this other one that I've got. So this one is I did do an actual star blossom with fabric. So I English paper pieced this one together and then just machine stitched around the edges with the arc ruler. So that way I could just tack it down that way. So that's how this was appliqued. There was no needle turn or anything else. It was using that little ruler wherever she went. So it was using my little ruler to go around the edges of the star petals, the star blossom petals. And then I'm using it. I did do a zipper on this one, but I'm using it to hold my twinkle pieces. So that's the other English paper pieced one. But this way, I'm keeping all my blocks together in one place, and I know I'm not going to lose them.
I love it.
It's so fun. And
So
then,
great.
yeah. So here's
Okay, so
another.
there again, that is the Quilt Keeper package. And so the Quilt Keeper, you have to buy the Quilt Keeper two-piece set with the panel. So that's the $40 panel. So you get the 2 templates with the panel. We see it right here, the 2
Yep.
templates with the panel.
And
And
I'm
then you do have to buy the Lotus and Pebbles template set with that too to get the free Lotus and Pebble embroidery set. If you already have the Lotus and Pebble template set, I'm sorry, I can't give you the free Lotus and Pebbles embroidery set with this special package, but you can go ahead and, purchase the Lotus and Pebbles embroidery set separate if you desire. But, unfortunately, I could be generous above. I cannot be as quite as generous in this special offer here. If you already have it, the Lotus and Pebbles template, we love you. Thank you for doing that. And we could
or
potentially, I
buy
guess we could,
another Lotus and Pebbles and give it to your friend because it's a
there you go.
wonderful ruler.
Yes, because the deal would be even, yeah, get a second
Yeah.
Lotus and
I
Pebbles, I
mean,
guess would be the
considering
answer.
this is just me from a consumer standpoint because I buy stuff too. If the Lotus and Pebbles ruler costs less than the embroidery collection, I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and buy the ruler and get the collection for free. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Or we
I'm
could
just saying,
even throw in maybe a suggestion of buying like the arc set or something else if you
yeah, I
already
mean, because
have
that arc
that.
set is 4 pieces, and I use them all the time,
Yeah, so you
all
might
the
really
time.
love the ARC set. I'll show everyone the alternative buy, and then I'll add it to the coupon special. So then you can
Cool.
choose the ARC set if you already have
Yeah,
Lotus and Pebbles.
I
Now, if
love
you
that.
have that too, I don't know, guys. I
Just
mean,
buy
I can
another
keep
Lotus and
trying.
Pebbles and give it to your friend. Just saying.
There
I
you
go
go.
through those all the time because I end up using them all over the place. I think I have about.
So the cost for the Quilt Keeper two-piece set plus panels, 40 retail. The cost for the Lotus and Pebbles two-piece template set is 38. So your total cost for that Quilt Keeper package is $78. And then you get a free Lotus and Pebbles template set that's a $50 value
Yeah.
if you buy those combined. So that's a super,
And,
super deal. It's available through July 31st. We highly encourage you to take
uh,
advantage of that.
and
Um,
on that note, since I'm giving with the quilt keeper, since I'm giving the whole pattern of how to make your little double-sided pocket kit keeper, I'm
yes.
also going to include the directions for what size to scale down your twinkle quilt if you want to make it by hand instead of using the panel. So you could make an actual star blossom like I did on the other one. So you could make an actual star blossom to put on one side of that pocket, and you could actually foundation paper piece this. And see, this is with some of those leftovers that I have
Oh my goodness, look at that.
from my fabric bundle. This is from that Roulette fabric bundle. I ended up having the half yard bundle because I was like, oh dear, what if I mess up? I don't want to be like not having the fabric I need. So I had a half yard bundle. And so all my little extra bits I was able to use to actually make this out of fabric instead of using
Gorgeous.
it's just
And
kind
do
of fun. It's a
keep
skill
in
build.
mind that all we do, there are a lot of um, stores that are definitely carrying these fabrics. And
Yeah,
so if you choose to do something outside of the bundle, we completely
absolutely.
understand. You can go to your local Benertex dealer and they will have these fabrics, or you can choose other fabrics
Yeah. And I'm
because,
not gonna lie, I think when I do the quilt along with y'all starting in the fall, I think I'm gonna use something different.
yeah, but she loves her colors. So you know you're going to get some gorgeous colors
I
too.
mean,
So
here
if you use
I
this
have to show you.
bundle,
Here's all the color behind me.
oh, the question that just came in is how large is the roulette quilt?
Uh, Let me find my book.
It's in the book. Yep.
Yeah, it's in the book. It's a large lap quilt. It's 60 by 78. And the
Okay.
cool thing is, if you really don't want to do these borders up here, you could end up with a square center quilt.
Okay.
I forgot to mention every single pattern in the book, if you don't have it yet, every single pattern has a non-rainbow suggestion because I get it. Believe me, if you saw me in my normal everyday, did you see my wall color back here? This like minty seafoam green. I'm a very pastel pink, like neutral, calm colors. But when I quilt, I go loud and bright. But I want people to have the options. So this one I did like an actual roulette wheel so
Oh,
that you
neat.
could do it, for like
Yeah.
a game room or a man cave or something. So every single pattern in the book has alternate ways of making it. So that fan dancer one that I showed you at the very beginning, very briefly, which let me show you in here. Okay, fan dancer, I showed you that one. What if you turned it upside down and did red, white, and blue? And then it's like patriotic.
Oh, how fun is that?
Yeah. So every quilt has optional ideas, whether because
Yep.
there are people out there that are just die hard
Yeah.
Neil Russ Kelly or
Well,
Tula or
exactly.
whatever you want. Yeah.
So I'm going to do one thing really quick. I want to announce before that we are planning on doing some giveaways. We're going to be announcing the winners to our giveaways, and it's going to be on Monday that we announce our winners. So check our Facebook feed for that. But what we're asking you to do to enter to win our giveaways is tell us what your absolute favorite new tools are and new items are that Sarah's sharing. So tell us in
So
a post, you
feel
have to
free to do it.
comment, guys, what are your favorite new tools or what are your favorite new items that Sarah is sharing? And then we're going to be picking 5 winners. 5 winners. So 5 different winners. You choose your favorite thing. And I guess you could have multiple favorite things. Like that means that you comment multiple times.
I know what I'm doing after this.
Will allow you to do that. But there's so many new things that I feel like we need to have 5 new owners,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, there are so, and I haven't even shown you but half of them at this point. Like, did we mention this panel yet?
No, we have
I
not
know.
mentioned
See?
this panel yet. Okay, so now we have to go back and we have to, okay, so I'm gonna scroll down and we're gonna talk about the 2 new embroidery collections.
Okay,
So
let's do that.
So the 2 new embroidery collections. So the first one is the Roulette collection. That is tied to the Roulette quilt. That is all designs that are related to the Roulette quilt. You're going to get inspired with the Lotus and Pebbles ruler. You're going to be able to do some of the designs with the Lotus and Pebble ruler, but then there's a lot of SARIDITTY free motion inspired design that is really in this collection. So that's where you're getting a lot of the feathers and that sort of thing. So this is a collection that includes 15 different designs that are really created for finishing this quilt, but obviously you can use in so many other quilt settings and that sort of thing. You've got triangles, tons of triangle designs that are part of this collection, along with kind of the wedge designs and than some border designs. So this one has an MSRP of $50. That is the cost of this collection. It's 15 different designs available in all of the formats. It's $15. So with that collection, if you choose to just buy this embroidery collection because you're like, oh my God, I love those feathers. I have all kinds of triangles that I could use them in. I want this. Then we are giving to you a free roulette panel. And I'm showing it to you on the screen, or actually, yes, we'll just have Sarah show you. There she is. This is a
Sarah was
practice
supposed to
panel.
have quilted for you today, but Sarah got behind schedule because that's how Sarah rolls.
Yeah.
So this
Oh,
panel, it takes all the highlights of the roulette quilt pattern for you to use the roulette embroidery collection. But that said, bear in mind, you don't have to make that pattern to use those designs. Like I said, I want to put that one on the back of a denim jacket, and the triangles and the beads and all that. I mean, you can use them on a lot of things, but I wanted you to have this panel as sort of a basis for practicing. It is not the same scale as the pattern in the book. So you will get information on how to size those pieces to fit these. But that way too, like you're getting used to positioning some of your triangles, deciding which triangle size is bigger and smaller and what would look best with some of those triangular shaped digital designs, because you don't want to pack too much of a design in a very small space. And I mean, you know that as quilters, you know that you don't want it to get too clogged and heavy.
yes.
But then I'm also going to, I figured, why stop there? So with this collection in this panel, you will get instructions for how to turn this section here, this half circle, how to turn it into, it will be a zipper across the top with a curved bottom, and we'll do like a vinyl curved bottom
Oh
pouch.
my goodness, I love that.
Yeah, to
Okay,
your small rulers or whatever.
so someone just has suggested that they love this panel to use as to make pillows to go with their roulette quilt.
Absolutely.
Oh
You
my
totally
goodness.
good.
I
You
love that.
and I think too, it is worth saying, and we'll discuss this, and Stacy doesn't even know I'm gonna say this. This is your basic cotton for practicing. This is not long-lived fabric, okay? So if somebody truly wants something that's gonna be a keepsake forever item and they want better cotton or better, linen or canvas, we can get that handled. Obviously, it would be an upcharge because it will be nicer fabric quality, but I think we could work something out like that down the road.
Love it. Perfect.
Yeah, super fun, right?
I love it. Okay, so that is the super special for through July 31st.
Okay.
If you purchase the Roulette embroidery collection, you're going to get the roulette panel. Okay. So then same goes for the Lotus and Pebbles embroidery collection, which I don't even feel like we've showed that off in a big way yet.
No,
So
all my quilts are laying on the floor that I use the
yeah.
pattern to show you.
So this is inspired by that Quilt Keeper kit. So all the
Right.
designs that are in the Lotus and Pebble collection, you can do with the rulers that are in the Quilt Keeper kit. And that's why we were giving that for free. If you chose to go ahead and purchase the Quilt Keeper kit and the Lotus and Pebble ruler, we're giving you for free the Lotus and Pebble embroidery collection, because all of these designs that are in this collection are inspired by those rulers.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. And you can see
we
that.
want to be able to show you how you can use rulers and embroidery together to make projects and quilting easier. That's our
Yes.
goal.
But that said, remember how I said I started out as a long arm quilter?
Yes.
So how about I show you how some of these designs can just be used on a long arm, or still in the hoop, and you would just have to remove and reposition and
Yes.
still use
Yes.
edge to edge designs.
I love
I,
it.
I speak long arm, but I get it. You could do it on your actual machine and just hoop everything, especially with that new Bernina 990 that we saw coming.
Oh,
Oh
yeah,
my
there's some
God.
gorgeous machines coming out. So just real quick, so if you purchase the Lotus and Pebble Embroidery collection on its own, which by the way comes with 7 block designs and 13 edge-to-edge designs, guys. We're talking edge-to-edge designs, so you can just easily fill in a whole quilt. Then you're going to get that Lotus panel for free. That's the Quilt Keeper panel. You'll get that for free. So if you decide, I'm just going to start with this embroidery collection and then I'll get the free panel with that. That is our special for just the embroidery collection. So for $50, you'll get that. And look at that gorgeousness. This is part of that edge to edge designs that are in this collection, guys.
Isn't that so fun? I love this. I love, love, love this. And here's how it looks on the backing. Hopefully you can see that. It's a really fun pattern. So there's that one. Let's grab a couple more. Well, you briefly saw the fan dancer one earlier without realizing that that was one of the edge to edges. So there's
Yeah.
this. Isn't that fun? And they can be positioned different ways too. So it doesn't just have to be this way. I wanted to do it this way because I wanted to see how the stitching on this side is different than the stitching on this side. And so that way they kind of go with the colored fabrics back behind them. And then they like join in the middle. See her that way. So there's the cool colors and the warm colors that go together.
So fun.
Yep. So that's based off of, this is the fan dancer pattern, but my friend Leilani, who made this little mini, she rotated every other row to be upside down, so it has like this continuous snake. So it's fan dancer upright and then
Oh,
fan dancer facing down. And
yeah,
it's pretty
that's
cool.
so cool.
Yeah,
I
it
love that.
looks really, really cool. So then here's another fun edge to edge. Let me show you on the backing first because it gets a little crazy on the eyes on the front. So there's another one.
Oh, isn't that stunning?
So that's the little lotus shape just shrunken down to like 1.5 inches or 2 inches. Isn't that the cutest thing ever?
That's so great.
And then, you know, the top of the lotus shape, that sort of Hershey Kiss look. And then this pattern is in the book. This is Funfetti. This one is a mix of my fabric, Bella solids, and Tula pink little dots and stripes. Oh gosh, here we go. It's colorful. But there, you can see that going across.
Oh, so fun. See,
It's super
I think there's a lot of people that are saying they're really loving this embroidery collection, and I
good.
think that this one has so much potential just because of like all of the edge to edge designs that are in it as
Yeah.
well, you
Well,
know?
wait till you see this next one because I took this with us to the winery on the 4th of July. So here's the back. Let me show you the back. Can you see?
Oh, that's stunning.
Can you see
Look
how
at
it's
that.
the lotus shape? It's a 6 bloom lotus shape. And they all sort of
Yes.
fit together. Now this pattern, this is in the book. This is Kaboom, but this is the patriotic version. So here, check out the middle. That's the very center of the quilt. Okay.
Okay.
So this is Kaboom done red, white, and blue with the Lotus and Pebbles embroidery.
Oh, look at that. Oh, that's amazing.
Doesn't that look so good?
And it looks great for block designs, but then it looks like it's also an edge to edge design. So
Yeah,
yeah, it looks
yeah.
phenomenal.
So, you know, if you're on the hoop or in the hoop, obviously you can figure out where your center is really easily. If you're on a long arm, what I did is I just basted a 1 inch meandery stitch across the whole top until I got to the center row. And I
Yeah,
stitched my center row first and then worked my way backwards, smoothing it as I went. And then I started again in the middle and worked my way down. So that's how I did it on the long arm.
I love
But
it.
it's perfect. I mean, that ended up in the center. Like, you can't get better than that. It was
Yeah,
so good.
that's perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so now we've covered both of the super special embroidery deals. And so someone
Mhm.
asked, Stacy, is there a way that you can just like give us links for everything that we've talked about today? And there is, guys. I'm going to give you a link to the email that I sent earlier because it has all the specials in it. It's organized, it's easy to read, and that is the link that I really want you to follow because then it's got everything in one link. So,
And I'll say this too, if anyone has specific questions, I try my best on my Instagram feed and in my Facebook page to answer questions that you may have. So if you have a burning question that you want to ask me as the quilter, that it's not, I can't tell you behind the scenes Stacy stuff, the administrative
yeah,
stuff, that's through So Steady, but I can give you designer feedback and answers to things like that. So please follow me, ask me questions. I'm here to help you because I don't ever want to be one of those designers that makes something and then it just is like, okay, you're being fed to the wolves, figure it out. I want to help you.
I love it. Okay, so I guess where we're at next is we have an, oh, look, you're showing us all these designs. These
I
are
know.
all of the
This
designs,
is
guys.
all on Lotus and Pebbles, you guys. Everything is on the Lotus and Pebbles. And this is the ribbon candy pattern from the book. This is just one block. But you could do all of this. And I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
that's perfect.
I know.
Well, okay, so that I mean, I think that the Lotus and Pebbles embroidery collection is amazing too. So
It's so good.
So again, I would highly recommend definitely study the link that I sent that really takes you to the email because the email shows you in very clear, concise what the limited time specials are, what the SARIDITTY new cutting templates and patchwork tools are, what the new embroidery collections are, and what the new kits and panels are. So it's a very, very clear, easy to follow. We've jumped around a little bit. I get it because we're trying to like keep it in concise package order. But yeah, Sarah and I are both a little crazy, not gonna lie.
Sorry.
We're creative. That's what it is, Sarah. And
What
sometimes
we
when you're
do.
creative, you jump around a little.
And here's a funny story for anyone who doesn't know or wants to know. Stacy and I are both tall for women. And
Yes.
when we were at Bernina University together, I can't tell, I'd say at least a dozen retailers came into the area. They're like, oh, are you sisters? And
Yeah.
I'm, maybe our eyes are sort of the same color, but like we look nothing alike. And we both just look at each other and go, no, we're both just tall.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think you're gorgeous, so I absolutely will accept
I,
and allow people to say that I am your
and
sister.
it goes the other
But
way. Because, yes, amazing. But yeah, so sorry, y'all. We're crazy.
I love it. Okay, so the couple things that we haven't covered. We have showed people the fabric bundle and we covered that in good detail. We've talked about the panels, talked about the quilt keeper kit. The
Mhm.
things that we haven't covered are the two additional cutting template sets that are part of the book.
I'm ready.
So, and these are other just more patterns in the book that we have cutting template sets for.
Yes.
So, I think Tutti Frutti would be awesome if we
So
could
here's
show up.
Tutti Frutti from the book.
Look at that. She was ready, guys.
I know. Now, here's Tutti Frutti in more of a Sarah version. Because, as we said earlier, Sarah is not necessarily a rainbow girl herself. That's not to say I don't like colors. I just like colors.
Oh my goodness. That's
Isn't that
stunning.
amazing? Like, it's the exact same pattern, but just the felt
Yeah.
change it completely. And then I'm working on another one, so I'm going to show you this one to show you how wonderful these templates are. I get it. It's a triangle and a wing. It's not hard. But when
Yeah.
you're cutting them over and over and over and you slice through your cardboard templates more than once, you get a little angry. So this is, I did anyways, which again, I told Stacy, I need templates for this because I'm getting angry.
Yeah.
So this is this template set. It's an A piece and a B piece that then B becomes mirror image B for your other side. Okay.
Yeah.
So I've already gone through my layer cakes and I quickly, which I posted a video. If you go to my Instagram and you go to my reels, you can see a video of me cutting these. So these are all my triangles. And yes, I have them flip-flopped but it's a stack of triangles. I just have them twisted every other one.
Okay. Oh,
Stuff.
yeah.
And then
Perfect.
here are the 2 sets of wings that I'm going to do. And again, these are on my Instagram info because I am going to do, let's do it this way. I'm going to do it so that every other one is either this mint julep color or this Tula fairy dust. And so it's going to end up being like opposite triangles of these with the
Oh,
coming
that
up
is going
this
to be
watercolor.
gorgeous.
I know. Isn't that just going to be so good?
Yeah, I love
So
it.
and it was just so handy because I grabbed, 3, 4 layer cake pieces at a time and just stuck the rulers on top of them and cut right against it with my rotary blade. So that's how that's going to be.
So, Sarah, would you say the best place to learn more about you is a website, an Instagram page? Where would you tell people to head?
So if you just kind of want to read my quick bio, go to my website. There's a quick little about me introduction there on my website.
So that's
From there,
SARIDITTY.com.
SARIDITTY.com, SARIDITTY. And they're both
Perfect.
nicknames that I grew up with because my maiden name is Dittman. I was in a male dominated field. Everyone called me Diddy. I was a tomboy. My family always called me Sari, so it's a SARIDITTY. A
Love
Diddy.
it.
Yeah.
That's fun.
So
That's
you can head
perfect.
to my website and just grab a little bio on me. But I post a lot on my social media. So whether it's my Instagram or my Facebook, which again, it's SARIDITTY, um, I post a lot. I will always try to interact with you if you have questions or you want to see something a certain way. And you'll get little glimpses of my pretty garden, my 3 boxers, my horse, the bread that I bake. But I won't overtake you with all that stuff. It's just sort of like the tidbits of my life, but it's mostly quilting and sewing.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. So we have one last template cutting set to show off, but it
Okay,
is,
so
I would not say we're saying the least for last because this one is like a double.
yeah, and so this one is so cool because the book was designed first before this other quilt pattern. So in the book, we have the quilt pattern called Double Dip. Okay.
Gorgeous.
So Double Dip, again, was one of those patterns with all these quarter circle pieces. And Drunkard's Path, sorta, but not really, because you don't end up with excess like a typical Drunkard's Path block has. You end up with perfect 1/4 inch alignment. So the book, while it was designed first and the double dip pattern was designed first, another pattern came out ahead of time with one of my fabric collections that was released. And this pattern is called Posy Patch. Woo, I'm hitting the camera. So again, I'm trying to make things worth it and stretch and work more than once. So Posy Patch is a pattern that came out first. Woo. So Posy Patch is this big flower pattern. It uses the double dip templates or vice versa. You can use the Posy Patch templates on double dip. It's one and the same. They are the exact same template used for more than one pattern. And newsflash, they're going to work for more patterns than just these 2. So if you grab the templates, you're going to love having them. And the patterns walk you through how to use the templates because they have some wiggle room built into the actual template seam allowances. So you're actually making a slightly larger block than what you need. So that way, if you're new to curves, not confident with curves, refuse to use pins when you sew curves, because I don't. I use 2 little dots of glue on my edges and that's it. The pattern will help you know exactly how to place your cutting ruler then to get a perfect raw edge block. So that way when you join it together, you get your perfect intersections everywhere where you meet up. So that's the double dip or the Posy Patch template set. They can be one or the other. It's the exact same thing.
I love it.
So
So I know this is kind of crazy, but I think we may have covered everything, Sarah.
I'm kind of amazed by that. Well, then let's add this. If anyone is in the Michigan area or plans to be next month, August, I'm teaching the entire time, all different quilting classes at AQS Quilt Week. So there's still some room in some of the classes. And we're using these templates. We're going to use the Lotus and Pebbles template set in my ruler class, probably in the Fancy Feathers and Frills class too, because I love using those templates for more than just actual ruler quilting. Like I showed you in the Roulette quilt, I set that Lotus shape down as a guideline for how to build my fancy feathers and frills. So yeah, if you want to actually do some hands-on stuff with me or make the trip to Grand Rapids, Michigan next month, like for real, get online. You can register on it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, I can say with certainty that there's probably a bunch of people here that would absolutely love to come meet you in person and
And
take
this
some of
is
your
who I am
classes.
when I teach too. It's fun. I make sure you have fun and you enjoy it. I don't ever want anyone to hate what they purchased or like begrudge a class that they took. I want everything to always be fun and enjoyable.
Absolutely. Well, I have had a lot of fun here today. I can say that I'm pretty sure a lot of other people have too. So again, don't forget, we are going to be picking a winner on Monday, picking 5 winners on Monday. You have to tell us because let's go scroll through this here.
Okay.
So I'm going to answer questions as I scroll too. Look at that. That's the gorgeous fabric. So the first question was, how do we watch this again? So here's the Facebook Live button right here on the screen. I've posted the link to the kind of learn more and just have everything. This is a link to the email that I sent earlier today. If you didn't get the email, then you have the link to it here. I posted that a couple times. This is how you rewatch. So you can either rewatch on the YouTube or you can rewatch right here on this Facebook Live. So this is the book. This is how you buy the book. This is how you learn more about the book. This is the link to the book. This is the link and the details about the special. So all of these take you to the products that are part of that limited time Roulette quilt package special. And again, if you already have the Lotus and Pebbles quilting template, just make a note of it and we will make it happen for you. You will be able to still get your Roulette collection free if you purchase the 5-piece template set and the fabric kit. Then we'll make it happen for you. Next, the Quilt Keeper package. So that's the 2-piece template set, the panel, and then the Lotus and Pebbles ruler. Total cost to you is $78 on that, but you get that free Lotus and Pebbles collection, embroidery collection, if you buy those 3 things. If you already have a Lotus and Pebbles template, then that could just be a gift for your bestie that doesn't, and then you still get that free Lotus and Pebbles template or embroidery collection that you get to play with. So just an idea, but that is also on special. Both of those specials expire 7/31. So, and then we've got Sarah just like holding everything, and I had to show you because she was really making it happen there. Some more new items. So here's the cutting patchwork tools. So we showed you the roulette set right out of the get-go. Here's that 5-piece roulette set. The Tutti Frutti template set she showed you there towards the end. That's the 2-piece set. It's $20 MSRP. We have the double dip and the posy patch template set. Those are $25 MSRP. Again, the 2-piece template set, and it works for those patterns that are in the quilt and so much more. We have the new embroidery collections that we shared with you today, the Roulette embroidery collection and the Lotus and Pebbles embroidery collection. Those have the specials listed right here through 7/31. You buy a collection, you get the roulette panel. You buy a collection for the Lotus and Pebble, you get that Quilt Keeper Lotus and Pebble panel that has that beautiful flower blossom on the front of it. And then here's the new panels. If you're like, that's all cool, but I think I just want the panels. I don't know, guys. I think you're going to want more than just the panels. But if you just want extra panels or something like that, here's the options for the panels. And then and then the Quilt Keeper kit, again, right here, you can learn more about the Quilt Keeper kit and the options right there. You can actually buy just the 2 templates if you don't like the panel. I would be shocked if you didn't like the panel, but if you don't like the panel, we do have an option to buy just the templates. And then we have the pre-order of the Roulette fabric bundle. Again, that's the 16 complimentary Shadow Blush Blender Benertex fat quarters with 1.5 yards of the new Hue Metallic Cream Gold background fabric. Total value is $85. We've got that on sale for $71. Shh, through 7/31. So Those are all of the goodies that we've showed you today. Those are all the things that you have to tell us what's your favorite thing because you're going to win one of these, guys. So tell us what your favorite thing is so you can get a chance to win. We'll be announcing the winners. If you're gone, you don't see it right away, we'll keep hitting you up to remind you, but check your messages. But we'll be announcing the winners. We'll be picking those winners from our live. So just make sure to comment there. All right. So I think that that covers it.
Yeah,
We've got Sarah showing off her
they've
puppies.
had it.
Oh.
They're ready to go outside. The heat index is like 108 here today. It's crazy.
Oh, I know. My dog has been having to stay inside too. We've had super, super high temperatures in Oregon as well. We've been in the 105, 108 range. And today we're down to 90. So it's getting a little bit cooler, but my dog is not going outside either.
No. Yep. Three
Yeah.
of these guys. They've been pretty good for the last hour.
Oh, they did very well. Look at that. Adorable. Well, again, thank you so, so much, Sarah. I'm super excited about this. We do have someone that wants to know the price if they just buy it all. So,
$1
message
million.
us. Yeah. Message us and we'll total it up for you and we'll see if we can make a super special deal for you. If you message us or you call us and you say, I want it all, we'll make it happen.
Yeah.
We'll make sure you get the super deals with all of that. All right. So I think that's everything, guys. Sarah, thank you again so much for joining
Oh
us
my
today.
gosh, my
I
pleasure.
feel like the
Fun.
interview and then the new product launch combined just made it an extra special live today. So very excited to be able to have you jump into these amazing quilts that Sarah's created and join us for quilt alongs in our future, with our first one being announced with dates in September for the Roulette. So don't forget that super
And
Roulette package is going to
I'll
be
add
awesome.
too, if you're on Instagram, because I tend to use that a little bit more, by all means follow me, please. A, it helps, but B, I post all sorts of live videos where I can show you my actual quilting and how I set things down. And so it's kind of like a private, quick little class if I just happen to turn the video on while I'm quilting. So again, I'm here to help.
I love it. Perfect. Well, we are very excited to just continue to be able to show off all your new goodies and just know that there's lots more to come because this is a book with 15 patterns.
There's
That
so much
means,
more that you guys have no clue what's coming.
and we didn't
And
even share with them all of your rulers and all of the
no, I know.
designs that are
We'll
going to be
do
coming
that.
from
We'll do
that.
that. Well, let's just put it this way. We're definitely going to hit on the Valentine ruler set very soon because there might be a fun announcement on Friday from me.
Oh, okay. Stay
Just
tuned
saying.
for that. We've got some really fun stuff coming for the Valentine set, guys. And that is a template set that Sarah's had in her line for the last 5 to 6 years. So
Yeah.
keep that in mind. All right. Well, again, thank you so much. And we'll look forward to you all taking advantage of those super offers. Again, don't forget, if you're in the Honolulu, US, you can choose one of our So Steady retail locations to pick it up from. So a local store near you to get free shipping. So that's just another bonus opportunity. So we'll look forward to working with everyone on that. And if you haven't already, get out there and get that Rainbow Quilt Color Method book because that will have every pattern in it that
Oh my
Sarah has
gosh.
showed you today and a whole lot more.
Yeah.
And you're just going to get even more inspired.
The very first quilt, I'll just say it right off the bat, the very first quilt is like the best baby or little kid quilt gift. And it has square triangles. It's so easy to whip out. It's so much fun. A
I
layer
love it.
a layer cake is all you need. It's awesome.
Perfect.
Yes.
Well, thank you again, Sarah, and we'll look forward to hopefully seeing everybody in the near future with all of their gorgeousness
Yeah.
posting to our pages.
All
Thanks,
right.
guys.
Bye. See ya.
Okay. Bye-bye.